white theologians use that to explain off captivity, but can no longer do so. Because why? If you can go there for servitude, then you can very well go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 64th verse, where it tells us that the Israelites would go on slave ships for their disobedience. Why not magnify that servitude over the Canaanite one? See, so when brothers and sisters come to you, these are the conversations you should explain to them. Not look to attack Israelites. You have to get down with them within the doctrine, knowing that they have already studied well beyond what you can answer. They've already studied. Because one thing about Israelites, like, I got books all over the place, notes. And one thing I found out being an Israelite is you have to study to be one of us. Every brother and sister who's an Israelite have their pen and pad and are ready to go and study the word of truth, and it bears witness to their spirit why they've studied to show themselves approved. So they are sure on their foundation, not only of being an Israelite, but in this church, our foundation with Christ. No way an Israelite going to tell a brother or sister, well, just believe and hope, without studying to show themselves approved. You got so many people in the Christian church who don't know anything about the Bible at all. You don't see that amongst Israelites, folks. Read it, Elder Lawyer. In that same place where it was said, read.
In the same place where it was said, ye are not my people.
Now, what place was it said, ye are not my people? In the lands of our captivity. The Gentiles began to rename us. But the Bible prophesied that we would ascribe the name of Jacob to us again. Why? Because some of these pastors saying, well, the Israelites, they're going into different languages when they're speaking English. Well, don't you know that that's a prophecy? That we would begin to ascribe the name of Jacob back to undo the cursed names that were given to us by our forefathers? That should be celebrated. In the same land where it was said that ye are not my people, like America. Read.
There it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God.
In the same land of our captivity, the Lord would do a great thing. He would show forth his power through all darkness and tell Jacob, you're my son. You're my daughter. I've always loved you. I've always been with you. The Gentiles lied. You are the children of Israel who went through the Red Sea. I saved you before, and I'll save you again through my son. Not Moses, the Messiah, the Christ, the anointed. Yeshua is his name in the Hebrew. And let me show this, that once we learn the truth, of course we use our worldly names having to deal within society, okay? But yet, it's a sense of pride to ascribe a name of Jacob. To ascribe to ourselves the name of Jacob is a sense of pride, okay? Which is a prophetic part of the awakening. That once we get the truth, we look, well, my name is not Jim, my name not Tom, I'm not Tyrone. Okay? My attributes. If we were living in the Holy Land, your attributes, who you are, is labeled within your name. That's your title. Like, for instance, My parents didn't name me Rakashiar. But my last name, or the names that I was given on this earth, being born, was through my parents growing up down south as a product of slavery. So no, Rakal is spirit, Shayar, songs. And I'm like, you know what? That bear witness to the spirit. I could always work with music. It's part of who I am. Singing, singing in the churches or whatever the case may be. So I ascribe that title as an Israelite. I use that name to identify an attribute the Lord blessed me with. That should be celebrated, folks. And I'm putting this out there because you have Christians, and I would say ignorant Christian pastors, relating the awakening of Israelites to Islam or Muslims, which is totally ridiculous. Like Malcolm X turned his name to Malcolm X. No scripture said that we're going to ascribe to the name of a Muslim. Let's get that real quick, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. This is Isaiah chapter 44, verse 5.
Isaiah 44 and 5. Read it.
One shall say, I am the Lord's.
One shall say, I'm the Lord's. I belong to Christ, and we do baptize. Read.
And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob.
And another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. So part of the awakening is taking on the names we lost. Read.
Another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Lord, and surname himself by the name of Israel.
And shall surname himself by the name of Israel. So when you see a black man changing his name to an Israelite, you can now do what? Give all power to the Most High God you claim to serve, that his prophecies are being fulfilled amongst his people. That should be celebrated when you see someone come in your house and say, you know what, Mom, I know what you named me, but guess what? I found out I'm an Israelite, and my attributes are this, and that attribute means this in the Hebrew. It takes a lot of study and connection with the Most High to come to these conclusions. Why are pastors downplaying this? Okay. Now, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
And I know other elders want to chime in. Ramar, I know you out there. Whoever want to chime in a little later, I need y'all to put out the phone number real quick. Let's put out the phone number for the brothers and sisters that are out there so they can call in. And when you call in, please state the church you came out of after your name and why you no longer are a part of the Christian churches or the pagan Christian churches anymore. Elder Lawyer, you have the phone number?
Pulling it up now at the moment.
Okay. (515-605-9327), correct?
Yes, sir, that's it.
515-605-9327. Again, 515-605-9327. Now, here it is again. Topic of discussion: Christian discussion on Israelites. Christian pastors' responses to Israelites inquiries. Okay? We're going to look at a Christian pastor respond to inquiries he's getting. Okay? In relation to the influx of Christians who are leaving the churches or who have questions about Israelites. I'm going to go into that in 1 second. But before I go, let's do a quick break, just a small break, introducing you all out there into our up and they'll respond with stuff like, with a response like, do you mean Jews? No, folks. Israelites. Christ wasn't a Jew. He was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. The term Jew comes from white people who converted into a religion called Judaism. See, we're going to teach these Christians tonight. So, pastor, okay, first and foremost, stop lying to your congregation that Israelites came out of the Nation of Islam, trying to clump us in with the Nation of Islam. Don't don't you know there was Israelites in place before Fard Muhammad in the United States? That there were Israelites in the United States before there was any such thing as what's his name, Elijah Muhammad from the Nation of Islam? So stop playing on your congregation's ignorance. See, and that's why they're leaving you, because you think that you're treating them like unlearned children. These people are spiritual children of God who now have the internet to do the research to see through your madness. There's more. So let's go. You know what? Let's do this. Let's mark how many lies this guy bring forth through his, what you would call, examination of Israelites.
Black Hebrew Israelites. I don't think a day goes by when I don't get at least 100 inquiries via email or text or whatever, especially from pastors that are concerned about this movement. I was going to say new movement, but of course it's not new. But this movement of Black Hebrews whose beliefs are a spinoff of the Nation of Islam.
Okay, first lie. Now, did y'all pick that up? This guy, Pastor G. Craig Lewis, get at least a minimum of 100 inquiries, text included. Okay. He get at least 100 inquiries per day. Check that out. About the Israelites. How are they going to stop the hemorrhaging? Or how can they teach their people to avoid or dispute what's coming from the Israelites? Well, here's a pastor with the answers, folks. 100 inquiries a day.
Nations of Gods and Earths, the Rastafarians. Y'all have heard me talk about these groups, these people groups in the Truth Behind Hip Hop series. Basically, it's all these groups' beliefs, including some Old Testament beliefs, all kind of combined, just lacking the discipline and, of course, the morality of the Bible. So,
So let's
hold the
horses.
Oh no, sister, hold tight. We gotta hold tight on you real quick. We gotta hold tight on you. You just hold tight. We're gonna deal with you in a moment. We will deal with you, sister, in a moment, but we have to skirt by your deceiving leader. We can't allow your deceiving leader to go on with this madness he just spewed. Okay? Hold on, let me minimize this because I don't want to go in and out of this, right? Let me minimize this real quick. All right, folks. All right, let me put you over there in the corner here. Listen to this again, brothers and sisters.
So,
Pastor G, can we do this? Can we give them a...
Beliefs are a spinoff of the Nation of Islam.
Lie.
Nations of Gods and Earths. The Rastafarians. Y'all have heard me talk about these groups, these people groups in the Truth Behind Hip Hop series. Basically, it's all these groups' beliefs, including some Old Testament beliefs, all kind of combined, just lacking the discipline and, of course, the morality.
Ad hominem attack. First of all Israelites are not the same. Okay? Let's make this clear. Even a man of God such as, what's his name, Pastor G. Craig Lewis should understand or know that there were different sects and beliefs of Israelites during the time of Christ. You had the Essenes, you had the Pharisees, you had the different sects on the Sanhedrin, Essenes, Pharisees, scribes. You had the Nicolaitans. You had different factions of the same people, the same way our people might be under different ideologies of religions today. But this is what Pastor G. Lewis is ignoring. There are some other Israelites by the name of disciples who learned under Christ, who delivered the Christianity that he's claiming to defend today. What about those Israelites that were under Christ? So you're going to downplay those Israelites too? Are you going to say because Christ was an Israelite that he was the same as the scribes, Pharisees, the Essenes, the Zealots, the Nicolaitans? Are you going to convolute and cross all of them together just because they all come from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? See? You see that, brothers and sisters? That's a hypocrisy in the Christian churches, which leads to brothers and sisters just walking away because they're not addressing the real issue and the real understanding that the Israelites are using to bring people out of those harlot houses, to lead them out of those pagan harlot houses called temples or churches. Right? Let's go back to him.
Pastor G, can we do this? Can we give them a little history behind it? Okay. So let's do that. I want to read this because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Now, toward the end of the 19th century, a man named Frank Cherry claimed to receive a vision through which God told him to present the message that African Americans are the true descendants of the biblical Hebrew.
Now, check this out, folks. Now, she went online. Now, mind you, brothers and sisters, I'm going to blow this up for you. What's wrong with this picture? Can someone tell me what's wrong with this picture here? What's wrong with this picture, folks? Can someone point out a Bible anywhere on this panel? She went to a tablet. Yeah, someone said out there on YouTube, no Bible. This woman went into a tablet, brothers and sisters, and pulled up Prophet Cherry as an example to all Israelites. Now, she purposely went to an Israelite who throughout history is known not to believe in Christ or the New Testament. Again, folks, brothers and sisters, she purposely went to an Israelite that even Israelites disagree with, who believe in Christ. Prophet Cherry from Philadelphia, we dealt with those congregations years ago and they were dismantled. Why? Because these particulars didn't believe in Christ. Okay, so immediately they go to Israelites and try to lump them all together so that their parishioners or those who attend their churches will believe that all Israelites today that they see on the corner learn from Prophet Cherry. Liar. So it went from the brother lying to the sister. Come on.
Now, this eventually resulted in the establishment of the Church of the Living God, the pillar ground of truth for all nations, which was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that was around 1886. Now, another significant figure arose during this time, which was William S. Crowdy. And it was during this era of lynching and the rise of Jim Crow that the prophet William Crowdy claimed to receive a revelation that African Americans were the descendants of the ancient Israelites. Now, after receiving this revelation, Crowley founded the Church of God and Saints of Christ Church, and that was about 1896, and that was in Kansas. Now, with that claim, the 10 lost tribes of Israel were the ancestors of black people. So that's kind of technical. Now, Jay Brian, I want you to break it down a little bit more to make it a little more understandable.
Yeah, no problem. So what we want to talk about first is what they believe. So ancient Hebrews were black. This is what they believe. They believe that the ancient Hebrews were black and that African Americans are their descendants. Okay? So
Another lie. Hold up. Another lie alert. Hold up. Another lie alert. Another lie alert. Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Elder Lawyer, you with me?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, we should be good now, right?
I'm still hearing a little feedback on my end,
But it's okay.
It's
Blocked. It's good on Block Talk. Okay, that's fine. Well, cut down your volume that's going into your ear because it could be just you. All right. Now, I need you all to check this out, brothers and sisters. I don't know what you missed, Elder Lawyer, but it first started off with the lead liar, claiming that the so-called Pastor G. Craig Lewis, who made a claim saying that he don't do nothing but go out of the Bible, sit with a tablet and no Bible in front of him, claiming that Israelites are a spinoff of the Nation of Islam. Lie one. Then now they have the sister speaking from a what you would call a feminine perspective, because what they did was the pastor's going to speak for the leaders. The sister is going to be those for the young youth or the sisters who would follow in the churches, and a young man who represents the youth would bring his truth from the other angle to cover all demographics. We understand your psychology, your demonic psychology here, but now we have a young brother here, okay, who's about to give some truth to the Christian base out there concerning Israelites.
And it's during this era of lynching and the rise of Jim Crow that the prophet William Crowley claimed to receive a revelation that African Americans were the descendants of the ancient Israelites. Now, after receiving this revelation, Crowley...
Now, let's make this clear. I don't know anything personally about Cherry or Crowley. But that revelation that them conclusions they came to of black people being Israelites were correct. Okay? They were correct. And if these people read the Bible, they would realize and be able to discern and separate the truth from the lie of those whom they're doing the biography on with this deceptive program.
Founded the Church of God, Saints of Christ Church, and that was about 1896, and that was in Kansas. Now, with that claim, the 10 lost tribes of Israel were the ancestors of black people. So that's kind of technical. Now, Jay Brian, I want you to break it down a little bit more to make it a little more understandable.
Hold up, Elder Lawyer. You heard she says that's kind of technical. So in a nutshell, I'm reading from Wikipedia, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to relay it over to you, because I really didn't do any research on these particular people. It's kind of technical. I didn't do any research at all on the 10 tribes of the Bible. I'm just reading out of Wiki right now. So it's too technical for me. So I'm going to relay it to the other guy. Can you break this down to give some understanding to what I found on Wikipedia within the last 10 minutes, sir?
First is what they believe. So, ancient Hebrews were black. This is what they believe. They believe that the ancient Hebrews were black, that African Americans are their descendants. Okay? So if you have any knowledge of, you have any awareness of the Bible, the book of Jeremiah, they believe that it is seen as them in black ethnic feature. So in Jeremiah 8, this is what they're using to support this claim, right? And also in Genesis 15, they're interpreting it as referring to African Americans who have suffered as slaves.
Continue on North I-35 frontage road for 6 miles.
400 years. Now, going back to what you were saying earlier, Carmina, the guy who had believed this false claim is Frank Cherry. He was the first man to receive the vision about the heritage of
Head northeast on I-35 north.
That white people were descendants of the
Continue on I-35 north for 60 miles.
leprosy, which they claim is as white as snow, right? So you can find this in like 2 Kings, chapter 5, where they also claim that whites are also described as wicked, unrighteous, and rejectors of God. All right. They believe that their leader, I believe it's pronounced Ben-Ami, contends that the anti-God individual mentioned in Daniel 7 is spiritually and prophetically the European nation.
Welcome
So
to
what they've
Blog
done is
Talk
they take the
Radio.
scripture and
Please enter your host pin. When finished, press the pound key.
One moment. One moment. I'm bringing in Elder Gadja here. One moment, folks. One moment, I'm bringing him in now. One moment. Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. I apologize for the technical issues here. One moment. Testing. Okay, that's it. One moment, folks. Elder God, you want to squeeze in here. I'll do overtime. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm back. I'm back now. Don't worry about it. One moment. One second. Stick with me here. I'll do overtime. Don't worry about it, YouTube. Hold tight. All right. One moment. Hold tight, Shalom. Hold tight. All right. Multi-output. Okay, I need you to put it on pause, Gotcha. Put it on pause. I'm gonna bring you in one moment. I'll bring you in one moment. Here it is. Now check it out. Now the young man now is breaking down Israelites for Christians.
blacks, Andrew. He also taught that white people were descendants of Gehazi, who was cursed with leprosy as a white. Leprosy, which they claim is as white as snow. Right? So you can find this in like 2 Kings, chapter 5, where they also claim that whites are also described as wicked, unrighteous, and rejectors of God. All right. They believe that their leader, I believe it's pronounced Ben-Ami, contends that the anti-God individual mentioned in Daniel 7 is spiritually and prophetically the European nation.
Now you notice they are meticulously cherry-picking certain Israelite groups who are known to be anti-Christ and against the Most High when it comes to the understanding of the New Testament and the Messiah, Christ. Ben Ami. Ben Ami was an antichrist. Prophet Cherry, these are antichrists. So they're purposely cherry picking certain Israelites to defame all of us. Go on.
So what they've done is they've taken scripture and pretty much flipped it or distorted it to what their own belief system is based on their own self-hatred, which our pastor's going to break down a little later. To just get a little bit more piece of what they believe, they also believe that all African Americans are the biological descendants of the ancient Hebrews, and that this means that this means of salvation for African Americans is obedience to the law of Moses.
Another lie. That they mean salvation, that the Israelites, the black Israelites, believe that salvation is through Moses. Lawyer, have you ever heard that teaching before amongst Israelites, that salvation comes through Moses?
No, sir. Well, at least I can say it don't exist amongst us.
Listen, Elder Lawyer, it don't even exist amongst Antichrist Israelites, because in the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy 18, the Most High told him that he told Moses that he would raise up a prophet like unto Israel, like Moses, and to him the people will follow. So even those who strictly believe in the Old Testament, none of them believe that salvation is through Moses. They're looking for another prophet outside of Christ. You mean to tell me Pastor G. Craig Lewis couldn't come up with something better than this? What Israelite is teaching salvation can only come through Moses? That's a bold-faced lie. These are liars, folks. And look, they look all clean-cut and nice and respectful and cordial. And you know what? They complain about how rash and brass Israelites are. I would rather have a brass Israelite, someone that's brash, that's a little crass, excuse me, rough around the edges, teaching me the truth, than this deception I'm seeing here with calm lies. Listen to this.
So,
Okay,
Pastor,
let's bring it forward.
okay.
So I know for myself, when I go in downtown, you see a lot of guys there. They've got the felt on and they're chanting and so forth and so on. Is that one of the practices? Is that something we should understand? Help us out, Pastor.
Yeah, that whole Mortal Kombat thing they do. That's one of their practices. But that's where they indoctrinate. If you know anything about Black Hebrew Israelites, they spend more time convincing people who they are than they do saving people from their sins, which is already strange.
Hold up now. They spend more time telling people who they are than saving people from their sins. When is the last time any of us have witnessed Christian pastors saving our people in our neighborhoods from their sins? Or have they been excusing the evil within the neighborhoods by allowing homosexuals to be all on their Christian boards, transgender people to be all in their choirs, known and outed homosexuals to lead as music directors in their church? Someone tell me, when did the Christian church do what he just claimed they're doing? Saving people from sins. The point of showing people, Israel, who they are is not just to convince them who they are. It's to let them know with that title what they are accountable to and who they are accountable to. Gentiles or heathens aren't accountable to anything, but Israelites are accountable to the God who made them, and that God, gave his people laws. That leads to salvation. That's the importance of telling people who they are, because with that comes a law which makes his people clean outside of these heathens who sleep with whoever they would like, do whatever they want.
what they believe. And so you see them on the street corners with bull horns, and I've even seen white people coming crying.
And let me make this clear too. There's no such thing as a black Hebrew Israelite. Okay? That's a negative term that the Zionist gatekeepers placed on us publicly through media to give God's awakening a negative connotation, to put a negative spin like the Black Nation of Islam or the Black Panthers or the Black Israelites, knowing that automatically through their education it gives a negative spin or connotation on any people they're looking to defame. No Israelites out there are named the Black Hebrew Israelites. The Jewish people named us that. It so happened that the Israelites were always black or people of color according to the Bible. But we don't name ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites. That's another lie or ad hominem attack.
Kneeling down to them and kissing their feet and different things and yelling. And the fists are always bald. I'm talking about.
Their fists are always balled up. You know what? Yeah, hey, you know what? I wish I had some popcorn, some organic popcorn. I mean, this is a this. I mean, Elder Gaja, where you at, Gaja? Well, I'll wait for Gaja to come in. Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Brother, do you always have your balls fist, your fist ball? He says, and another thing about those Israelites, they always have their fist ball. So what you're not used to seeing is masculinity. It's not like they're looking and hold their fists up to try to, nah. I used to be in one of those camps years ago. The Bible says, make your face harder than theirs. Because out there you would have brothers and sisters, brothers who would try you. People with weaponry and all that would come up. Weapons, knives, and all that. And they have to know that if they were to engage, it will eventually lead to a bad day. Yeah, they always have their fist ball. Hold up. Gaja, let me know when your mic is working, because you definitely have to chime in here.
They always have their fist balled up. They're always upset. And they're always using Hebrew words. Yah, which is short for Yahweh, which is God, of course. Yahushua, which is Jesus, and then Shabbat, which is Sabbath. They don't say the Sabbath, they say the Shabbat. These dudes know 8.
At least we know the Shabbat is the 7th day of the week. And we have enough sense to understand. We have enough sense to count to 7. We have enough sense to understand that the first day of the week is not the Shabbat or Sabbath.
Hebrew words, and yet they are the descendants of the Hebrew.
Right.
But they don't speak. Only when it comes to God, they speak Hebrew, because God, to them, demands to say his name in Hebrew.
That's a lie. Another lie.
Their language. They also keep the Jewish Sabbath, or Shabbat.
Another lie.
And,
The Sabbath don't belong to Jewish people.
Holidays and different things. And then they use the Old Testament to support their teachings. Some of the New Testament.
Another lie.
Take away from the deity of Christ, but they do believe the Old Testament and try to adhere to the Old Testament law, especially the books of Moses, the 5.
You know, this guy, he lies every time he only lies when his mouth is opening. That's the only time. I mean, I have to pause this almost every other second, folks. Almost every sentence is a lie from this particular brother. The Jewish Sabbath. God gave Adam the Sabbath in the beginning. Genesis, the 2nd chapter.
Which is Sabbath. They don't say the Sabbath, they say the Shabbat. These dudes know 8 Hebrew words, and yet they are the descendants of.
Some are more fluent in Hebrew than others. Okay. At least people are studying the Hebrew, being that the Old Testament was translated out of it. So scholars study the words to get further understanding of the Bible we uphold, whether we speak it fluently or not. And it doesn't matter what language you speak in this earth, if you don't have an opportunity to practice it every day, you're not going to be as fluent. There's no communities anywhere that would dictate us speaking Hebrew to each other on a daily basis.
They don't speak Hebrew. Only when it comes to God, they speak Hebrew. Because
Liar.
God, to them, demands to say his name in Hebrew.
And lawyer, if he joined the Hebrew and Bible Academy, he would learn to do sentences and understand grammar and all that within the academy, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And furthermore, if I can add to that,
Come on.
just 2 points. The Bible prophesies in Jeremiah 17 and 8 that the real Israelites will be discontinued from their heritage. Part of their heritage is their language. Showing you that the real Jews would not be able to speak fluent Hebrew in the last days. Secondly, Isaiah 28 and 11 says, "For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people." So the Bible makes it clear, according to prophecy, that the real Israelites will be speaking different languages in the lands in which they will be scattered outside of the original language, Hebrew.
Great points, Elder Lawyer. You know what group I wish he would have mentioned?